try and...
Hi, I'm Darren. I'm one of the keepers at Marwell and I work on the hoofstock team, and today we're going to show you some giraffe training.
Right, Darren, so who have we got here today?
This one here is Ruby, and she's our youngest giraffe here at the moment. She was born in 2012, end of January 2012, and she was born when Marwell turned 40, so it was a nice little present for us, and hence the name Ruby. What Richard's doing is he's getting her to touch the tennis ball stick, and it's called the target stick. He's asking her to touch. She'll use her nose and she'll touch the tennis ball. She'll then click, which is called a bridge, so she knows that actually food is coming. And then what the food is, it's just a pellet, which is part of their diet. It's just lots of little leaves and vitamins and minerals that have all been crushed up together into a pellet form. And it's more convenient in the little purple pouch, just so we can have the food there ready for us straight away. The purple pouches were conveniently and nicely bought for us from our animals wish list.
Fantastic. Let's have a look at that. So we've just got the pellets in there, and that makes it really handy, I guess.
Yeah, it's very handy, because obviously the quicker we can give them the food, the quicker they'll learn that the behaviour they're doing is the one that we wanted. Because giraffes, bless them, they're not the brightest of animals, so when working with them, if we can kind of get any kind of correct behaviour, then it's really good. It was a fairly slow process to get them to do this. They're fairly inquisitive, so when we just had the tennis ball on the end of the stick and we lifted it in the air, they kind of came towards it, and eventually they realised that actually if I touch this, I could get some food.
Will we touch?
We tried different foods, so we tried some vegetables and leaves as well, but they prefer their pellet much more than anything else, which is handy.
So you've got a team of you in here today doing the training. Is that how
Yes.
you'd normally set this up?
Yes, ideally you need at least 3 people, mainly so that we can actually control all the giraffes and keep them interested and in what we're actually doing. So obviously we've got Rich down here who kind of looks after the ones by this gate. Then we've got Amy on the top who's looking after Encia. And she's our star attraction because hopefully she'll be going to Prague at some point. So it's quite important for her to come into this raceway because what we're doing is we'll load her from that door into basically a really big horse box, and then she'll go off to Prague. But obviously to do the training we want it to be nice and calm, so instead of having to push her and force her where she wants to go, we can let her make her own mind up. So when we can start it on the day, she'll be nice and relaxed, won't have to do any kind of pushing or shoving with her, and it'll be hopefully a smooth ride for her.
And does this type of training also help when it comes to veterinary procedures, that sort of thing?
Yes, if we need to give them medication for whatever, we can get one separate, just by calling the name, showing the target stick, and they'll generally come over. We can then, using our rotunda behind us, we've got lots of different doors in there, so we can actually shut them separate for like 10-15 minutes or however long we need to for them to actually eat their food. Also, if you have to do any foot care or anything like that, we can get them separate. We haven't actually got that far yet, but our aim is to use in the top holes at the bottom of these gates, is when we get them shut separate, they'll be able to present their feet, and then instead of having to do any anaesthesias, we can just kind of bath their feet.
So we're in the inside part of the enclosure here today, Darren, but they've got a huge paddock outside.
Yes, they have got a very big paddock, and they also have a big house on it as well. It's recently been renovated, and so they've extended it. We've gotten rid of all the metal horrible fences, and we've got nice wooden natural ones. We've also got lots of elevated areas out there so they can feed at a natural height instead of feeding lower down. So we can actually hang up any browse for them. We've also got different surfaces out there, so we've got the hard areas out there which help kind of far down their hooves, but we've also got the sand area as well to keep them kind of a bit damp, which then helps them far them down. And they have also got the big paddock out there as well.
Maybe touch.
So Ruby seems to be responding really well to this training today.
Yes, Ruby, she is very good. She's not quite as confident as Encia, and she doesn't necessarily go into the raceway, but that's not a concern at the moment, because obviously we want to concentrate on Encia. But she is very good at the target stick. This big guy is Kwame, and he's our male in here. He's not a breeding male, but he's the boy out the group. He was born in 2009.
And this is just a small selection of the giraffes we have here at Marwell, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes. We have 9 here, so we've just got 4 inside and 5 of them are outside. It's just a lot easier with a smaller number when we train, so we can actually kind of keep them interested. If we had all of them, we've got quite a few very confident girls, and they kind of get a little bit frustrated if we're not giving them the food, and they kind of start stamping their feet and stropping off. And also, because we've got NC and Ruby, they're the 2 youngest and smallest ones, they kind of get pushed out a little bit, which isn't very fair, seeing as they are so good at training.
And giraffes are just so popular, aren't they, here at Marwell?
Yes,
we do the
they are
giraffe
very popular,
face-to-face, and people love to come and see them.
Yes,
Why do you think that is, Darren, as someone who works with them, you know, day in, day out?
They're just so unique. There's nothing like them. So they're the tallest land animal. They're not related to anything. They are just on their own. And they're gentle giants. But obviously, we don't go over there because they can be very dangerous. If anyone watched Planet Earth 2, you would have seen the giraffe kicking the lion. So they have got a very, very powerful kick. You wouldn't want to get hit by that. But they're just so inquisitive. They've all got their own individual personality. And they're wicked. They're just so cool.
So you'd never go inside the enclosure with them as a keeper?
No, never go in there. Like I said, they are gentle giants, but they're not domesticated or tamed. They have got very big feet, and they can get spooked quite easily. So if you're in there, for instance, they wouldn't want to hurt you, but they've got very long legs, got very big feet, and you definitely feel it in the morning.
Go.
They're so fascinating, Darren. Do you have any other cool facts that you can share with our viewers about these amazing creatures?
Yeah, so obviously they've got a really long neck, but actually they have the same number of bones in their neck as we do, which is 7. Obviously ours are quite small, but theirs are really big, and I have one here for you.
One you prepared earlier?
Yeah, so this is 1 giraffe vertebrae bone in their neck.
Wow.
So this is 1 of 7. Obviously ours are about this big.
Yeah.
And obviously this helps them reach the tops of the trees and all get all the juicy leaves that no other animals can get. The veins and arteries in the neck are really, really thick because they have to deal with a lot of pressure from the heart, pumping the blood up to their heads. So obviously, if we were to put our head down and stand up again quite quickly, we might get head rush. These guys don't do that, mainly because of the strong veins and arteries that they've got, and they've also got like a little reservoir of blood in their head to stop them getting all lightheaded and go all faint.
I think you've all learnt something there.
Yeah.
You've got more.
You've got more, yeah. Despite people think these guys do sit down to sleep, to get like a proper deep sleep, they'll actually sit down and they'll rest their head on their bum. Generally it only lasts for about 2 hours. They can also power nap for kind of about 10-15 minutes throughout the day. So it's very rare to see a giraffe sitting down and sleeping, but it does happen, especially in captivity when it's a lot more relaxed, a lot more chilled.
Yeah. Retouch. Go. Retouch. Good.
Darren, we're getting lots of likes and loves for this video, comments, people saying how gorgeous these guys are. Is the giraffe one of your favourite species to work with? Because you do work with a whole range, don't you?
Yes, I do. We work with, on the hoofstock team, we work with lots of different hoofstock, from rhinos, buffaloes and zebras and the Giraffes, and smaller things like the Dorcas and the Noah. But yeah, these guys, they're pretty cool. They're all individual, they're all different, and they are quite a joy to work with, especially when you're doing the training and you get the results that you kind of want.
We just finished with a shot of Rich doing this training with Ruby, who's doing so well today.
Go. Retouch. Go.
Oh, just one last question, Darren. We've
Yep.
had a question in from Megan, who asked, what are you training them to do? So she missed the beginning where
That's
you
okay.
explained. So if we can just recap again
Yep.
what the training is all about.
It's mainly so we can have a bit more control on what they do, and so we can actually call them, they can come over, we can separate them for veterinary issues if needs be, give them some medication, and also to transport them, like NC is demonstrating so beautifully over there. If we need to put them, they go to another collection or whatever, we can get them separate and then they can go off, and it's just a lot less stressful.
Darren, thank you for allowing us behind the scenes with the giraffes for day 4 of 12 days of Marwell. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Touch.